People that have been coming to this event for years are social media veterans, and I can certainly see a few of them amongst you this evening. But if I could encourage you to take tonight's conversation beyond these walls and share your insights and photos on social media using the hashtag Let's Talk Diversity. So use your social media platform of choice, tag the Gold Industry Group on Twitter or LinkedIn, or if Instagram and Facebook is your thing, then the Heart of Gold Australia is where you need to be tagging, and we look forward to seeing your pictures from the night. I'd like to just take a moment before we begin to reflect on the recent tragic events that have occurred within the gold industry, both in Australia and overseas. It would feel remiss not to do that, given that we're all gathered here this evening. And what I'd like to reflect on is the fact that I think that it's a testament to this sector and our broader industry how we pull together in times like this. And somewhat unfortunately, I've been the direct recipient of that care and compassion and support over the last few weeks. And I think that what is demonstrated in that is the fact that there is no competitive advantage in this industry on issues like safety, as well as some of the other important issues that currently face our industry. And I've got no doubt that we'll all continue to strive to do better, because that is absolutely what we do. But I also see the Gold Industry Group as being a really valuable vehicle to help those important conversations and sharings to occur to make sure that that happens. Before we commence the event, I'd like to share an update on some of the Gold Industry Group's long-term initiatives that are influencing perceptions and creating a supportive, informed community for our sector. Now in our 7th year of operations, and it's hard to believe that it's been that long, diversity and inclusion has long been at the core of the Gold Industry Group's role in strengthening the reputation of the gold sector with our communities and stakeholders. Reflected across everything that we do nationally, our perception-changing National Gold Education Program continues to inspire students to consider careers in the gold industry. Our Gold Jobs platform profiles the diverse range of roles and career opportunities in gold. Our diversity events and leadership forums such as this are driving important discussions on key issues relating to our sector. And our support of women's sport, education and empowerment is highlighted through our landmark partnership with West Coast Fever, Netball WA and Shooting Stars, and I'm delighted to see West Coast Fever head coach Dan Ryan right down there. Well done, Dan. Great to see you and the team here, thank you. Every one of us tonight can play a part in creating change and supporting a diverse future workforce that's proud to work in the gold sector.
Gold's very exciting. Knowing how much gold's worth and knowing how much is produced, like your shift has hauled millions of tonnes.
There's often a misconception that you have to be a miner. Mining needs accountants, it needs finance, it needs electricians. There's a whole community out there.
The scale of all the operations and the fact that it's global and there's so many companies worldwide doing the same thing and wanting to be better at it and improve how it's done, it just creates an environment where you can just learn and do so much cool stuff.
I love coming to work every day. It's just working around with people. It's just opportunity after opportunity. It definitely is an exciting job.
I would recommend the gold industry to basically everyone. It's a really good industry to work in. You always have a stable career. You get a good paying job.
Anybody considering work in the gold industry, and give it some serious thought and don't just look at the jobs list that's available. Talk to somebody and find out a little bit more about what happens.
That is just fantastic. Our best advocates are always our own people, and it's fantastic to see that. Now, I know that you can't wait to hear from our exciting lineup of speakers, so let us begin. Now, for those that have been coming to these events for a while, you'll know that we've always used this event to explore the most challenging issues relating to diversity in our sector. In previous years, we've looked at issues like whether or not we should fix women or fix the system. whether gender equity targets are a necessary tool or drive mediocrity, whether working from home is a golden opportunity or a cage with golden bars, or whether a focus on gender diversity alone is hindering progress. And so this year we're shifting focus to explore a topic which is front of mind for everyone in our industry. The significant current challenges around access to labour are known to us all, whilst at the same time the importance of looking towards our workforce of the future is a critical issue that none of us can afford to ignore. Now, whilst these challenges are not unique to the industry, there's an opportunity for us to find our collective voice and position ourselves as an industry of choice amongst younger generations. And so capturing the hearts and minds of young workers is vital for the gold industry to thrive and attract the best talent, which is why tonight we're exploring the topic, above and beyond, what will it take for the gold industry to capture the hearts of Generation Z? Tonight we're switching things up with a new format. We have 3 industry pitchers who will each be given a few minutes to pitch their ideas and perspectives on the topic to a panel of sharks, right here, who will challenge their thinking. Unfortunately, our planned 4th pitcher, Georgia Kerr from Anglo Gold Ashanti, is unable to make it tonight due to international travel delays. I'll give you 2 words, Bali and Jetstar. That should tell you everything that you need to know. It was never going to happen. So once the 3 presentations are complete, it will then be up to you, our empowered audience, to decide on the best pitch of the night. And to do that, you need to visit www.menti.com and enter the code 28031671. And hopefully that will be delayed somewhere. So without further ado, let me introduce our sharks. So first up, we have Andrea Hall, Non-Executive Director of Evolution Mining. Andrea is a chartered accountant with more than 30 years of experience in the financial services industry in roles involved in internal audit, risk management, corporate and operational governance, external audit, financial management and strategic planning. Now, what all of our sharks don't know is that I have taken the liberty of giving them a Shark Tank motto for the evening, and Andrea's is, "It's not in the dreaming, it's in the doing." Our second shark this evening is Darren Strallo, CEO of Bellevue Gold. Darren is a mining executive and qualified mining engineer, which I find is always an advantage, with over 20 years industry experience in strategy development and execution, building and operating modern underground mining operations, business integration and transformation, and building high-performance teams. Darren's Shark Tank motto for this evening is, "Follow the green, not the dream." Our third shark this evening is Christy Batten, the editor of Mining News. Christy is a 2-time AMEC Media Award winner and took home the prestigious Diggers and Dealers Mining Forum Media Award in 2015. Since 2017, she's been on the steering committee of the Melbourne Mining Club as the first member outside of Melbourne. Christy is known to us all as a tough operator, and her Shark Tank motto for this evening is, "If you want a friend, buy a dog." Pitchers, be warned. So now, turning to our pitchers, who quite frankly are looking terrified. Our first pitcher tonight is Sergio Pandit, a senior mining engineer from Bellevue Gold. With a Bachelor of Mining Engineering from the University of Queensland, Sergio has several years' experience working in various roles in the underground mining industry and brings a fresh perspective to this important discussion. We are certainly hoping it's not going to be a career-limiting one for you, Sergio. Good on you for taking on the boss. Next up, we have Kate Fitzsimons, Legal Counsel from St Barbara. Kate is a legal advisor at St Barbara, supporting the business across its Leonora, Simberi and Atlantic operations. Prior to joining St Barbara, Kate worked in private practice as a projects and development lawyer, specialising in mining, oil and gas and infrastructure projects. We all know what fantastic insight lawyers can bring to this great industry, Kate, so you are extremely welcome. Last and by no means least is Carl Stokes, General Manager at Gruyere from Goldfields. Carl is an established leader in the resources industry with 25 years' experience in nickel and gold mining. You could hardly believe it looking at that face. 25 years of experience. You've not been working hard enough, mate. Since commencing his career as a metallurgist, Carl has held a number of leadership roles across operations, capital projects, planning and logistics, with a passion for improving safety outcomes whilst delivering sustainable value. Welcome, Carl. Right, this is it then. I am now going to hand over to our first speaker. The floor is yours, my friend. I wish you well.
Thanks, Ed. Come on. You got this, brother.
Thanks very much, Kelly. First and foremost, big thanks to Kelly, Tiff, Christy and the Gold Industry Group for putting on this amazing event. So can we please give them a round of applause? And yeah, thanks for everyone for rocking up tonight. Should be a good night. With that being said, good evening, Sharks and audience. My name is Sergio Pandit and I'm the Senior Mining Engineer at Bellevue Gold. I'm here today to answer the question, what will it take the gold industry? What will it take the gold industry to capture the hearts of Gen Z? And the answer to that question is a documentary series. A little bit about myself. So I was born and bred in the best city in Australia, Brisbane. Otherwise more commonly known as the hometown to the greatest footy team the world has ever seen, the Brizzy Lions. I studied mining engineering out of the University of Queensland and graduated in 2015, which led me to finding the love of my life, the gold industry. Which is why it breaks my heart today to be in front of you all to talk about a serious problem which our gold industry faces. To demonstrate this problem, I was going to whip out some fancy graphs from some big consultancy firm, but I'm sure on a Friday night that's not what we want. So instead, I thought I'd go out on a whim and use our great live audience. So ladies and gentlemen, if you could please raise your hands if you were born in 1995 or earlier. Sharks, what you're looking at are the baby boomers, Gen X and the millennials. As a collective, we are the seniors, the managers, the CEOs, the current engine room of the gold mining industry. Now, if you were born in 1996 or later, please raise your hands. Sharks, this represents Gen Z, the future of our industry, or the lack thereof. Gen Z currently ranges from grade 7 all the way to young professionals who should be 5 years into the industry. Now, honestly, I don't remember when I was in my mid-20s, got offered free drinks and food all night and did not rock up. As was just seen in our live demo, the problem is that there's not enough Gen Z in the gold mining industry. And secondly, Gen Z in society have a widely warped view of the mining industry, which in turn negatively impacts our gold industry. Why? Because there's just no one left to continue our legacies. Moral of the story? Sorry, I missed that slide. No, moral of the story, Gen Z just aren't biting. I like to go back and work out how to do animations and PowerPoints, so it takes me back to my school days. The mining industry is heavily publicised in the news with a negative outlook. Fatalities, sexual harassment, destroying the environment, avoiding tax, climate's in peril, pickaxes, donkeys and carts, as seen by the statue there, a boom and bust job economy, Gina this, Clive Palmer that. We've lost Gen Z's interest to be a part of the gold industry even before they've stepped foot into the industry. I recently went back to my old stomping ground at UQ and had a chat with some of the mining professors and the students and asked them two very important questions. What do you want from the mining industry? And these were some of their answers. So we want to see opportunity, see how diverse the industry is, what specific disciplines actually do in the industry, and we want to see outreach programs to get people involved. The second question was, what will make you work in the gold industry? Industry tours, tours of gold refineries and what the future and new innovations look like. The fact that UQ mining students are asking these questions, excuse me French, scares the shit out of me. If our mining students don't know what the go is, we've got no hope in the hundreds of others job opportunities that are on offer. What about the geos, the environmental advisors, the HR professionals, the IT managers, the legal counsels, accountants, procurement officers, the operators? The solution to changing this perception and capturing the hearts of Gen Z is to utilise one of the most powerful modern day platforms known to this generation, social media. Now, being a mining engineer, I've learnt that if you want to know where the gold is, you get the geos involved. They're sort of an important part of our business. Social media is to Gen Z as geos are to mining engineers. Can't live with them, can't live without them. Another quick question for our audience. Please put your hands up if you've got the following: Netflix, Amazon Prime, keep them up, Disney, free-to-air TV. Keep your hands up if you've watched a documentary or a mini-series in recent times on those platforms. Sharks, as mentioned, I'm here today to propose the creation of a 5-part documentary series in a storyboard format. That's gold, how mining companies are changing with times. Now, I honestly believe the following slide is probably the epitome of my career so far and probably the extent of my creative ingenuity. So feel free to applaud at any time. Ladies and gents, I present to you for the very first time the look at my proposed documentary. The goal is for the documentary series to be picked up by large media platforms such as your Netflix, Amazon, Disney+, or if we really want to go big, being picked up by the ABC for distribution on a mass scale. To be able to give not only Gen Z, but all of Australia and potentially the world, a true insight into what modern day gold mining in Australia actually is. So why a documentary? Well, Sharks, Netflix, Disney, and Amazon combined have 11.4 million subscribers in Australia alone. Last Friday night, 400,000 Australians spent the night watching Gardening Australia on ABC. Now, you can't make this shit up, but that's Gardening Australia. The medium of TV and streaming gives us a mass outreach like nothing else. The success of a good documentary series is literally worth its weight in gold. For example, the documentary series Drive to Survive gave new birth to the Formula One racing industry, with viewership increasing 140 million people after season 1. An article recently wrote, the main steer in the F1 success comes from the audience intelligence. A deep understanding of their target audience helped Drive to Survive and Formula One curate more engaging behind-the-scenes content across all the right platforms. Just imagine, Sharks, if every group discussion around uni or high schools or in the family home was, hey, did you watch That's Gold last night? A documentary series is tried and tested to succeed, invite discussion, connect people to information they never knew existed. So how does this work? The 5-part documentary series will be a collaborative effort by multiple gold mining companies around the world. This would span multiple sites that discuss all facets of the industry in a storyboard format such as the following. Episode 1, the new age of gold mining. We're not in Kansas anymore. This would pay homage to what mining was in the past, but introduce mining today. It takes 3 to tango: geology, mining, processing. As much as mining engineers think we're the centre of the mining world, we are not. This would introduce the world to endless jobs in the mining company from site to city. Episode 3, gold, the second most important thing on a mine site. People, people, people. This would focus on life outside operating hours, worksite health and fitness, gyms, mess culture, diversity, flexibility, everything else aside from the gold. Episode 4, green gold, we mine for the future. Sustainability and technology, the holy grail that everyone is striving for these days. This one speaks for itself. And finally, the future of mining. Each episode would be sponsored by a different industry-leading company, with that company featuring in the episode. The aim of the documentary would be to provide an all-encompassing look into the gold mining is. If I had $1 for every time I had to explain to a friend that I drive a car underground or that a jumbo isn't an elephant, I'd probably have enough money to buy some more Bellevue Gold shares. That's just in case you're wondering. By putting this documentary in a broad spectrum format, by highlighting the career opportunities and the flexibility in the mining industry, we will be able to target those beyond all these outreach programs, such as Focus on Mining, that are currently available for a small portion of students. Gen Z needs this documentary. Australia needs this documentary. The world needs this documentary. So what does the business model look like? As with anything in the world, there's always a bottom line. The cost of documentaries range from $30,000 upwards of a few $1 million. Fun fact, this is still less than a lot of the bonus salaries that our mining execs took home last year. So yeah, costs depend on length, quality, pre and post-production costs. I.e., if we would employ Hugh Jackman or my Hollywood man crush, Chris Hemsworth, versus Alf from Home and Away. Furthermore to this, with a collaborative effort with multiple gold mining companies, these costs can be significantly brought down, reduced and manageable. If the documentary aligns with government objectives, both economic and educational agendas, then funding can be applied through government bodies. Screen Australia allocated $13.5 million to the documentary sector in 2020-2021 alone. Similar channels of funding can also be raised from government bodies such as the GIG, CME and MCA. So what's next? Sharks and audience members, the support I'm looking for is simple. I need you, access to sites and offices on different mine sites, access to people from those companies to be involved in the documentary, and a willingness for everyone in our industry to showcase the full glory that is the Australian mining industry. And finally, and most importantly, cash money, or just money. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings me to the end of my pitch. For anyone who knows me well, you'll know that I'm not shy about publicly confessing my love for this gold industry. And so it saddens me greatly to admit that the industry is facing a problem, that we, as a collective, have failed to capture the hearts of Gen Z. From the two greatest lines of Greta Thunberg's iconic speech, "How dare you? How dare we?" And my message is that we'll be watching you. If we don't act now, there won't be anyone left to carry our legacies. Many of us here tonight are not from the world of social media or streaming services, but that is the world of Gen Z. But to understand them and connect with them and win their hearts and minds, we must start speaking their language and meeting them on their own platforms. So here it is, my call to arms to everyone in this room tonight. Let's get on the front foot. Let's enter the world of Gen Z. Here's a challenge for 2023. Let's spend more time and effort on Gen Z than we do on Diggers and Dealers every single year for a one-night show. Mining is a long-term game, and the future is not set nor defined without Gen Z. So who's ready to win? Who's ready to join me in capturing the hearts of Gen Z? Thanks.
Sharks, hello. What are your thoughts? I can see the audience is chomping at the bit to get to the casting couch, but where are you on this proposal?
I really liked it, and I did watch a documentary last night on Netflix. I'm not sure I'm your audience, but I definitely watched one. My question to you is, because I thought the themes were really great, but how do you stop it from being a cheesy corporate video to an exciting documentary that people want to watch? What's the X factor for you?
Use the people on site. We don't have to get paid actors in. Anyone in this room could be in the documentary. You'll use the people that we have. And if they're anything like me, there's a lot to showcase in the gold industry. Simple as that. Use the people you have, down to earth, easy.
Okay. I guess my main question, I mean, great pitch, but my main question would be, if we can't even get Gen Z to show up tonight for free drinks in the middle of the city on a Friday night, how are we going to get them to watch this documentary?
It's a good question. That's all right. Advertising is one big thing. I knew Drive to Survive was going to come out well and truly before it comes in, so all comes under marketing, which I know we've got a pitch on later on, so it's all not tying together. So, yeah, as much as we sell it, everyone's got their phones out, everyone's got Instagram, socials, LinkedIn. Get out there, talk about it. I'm going to guarantee we'll spread the message.
Oh, I think it's a good comment. I think the answer should be add some crocodiles, mate. I'm having to watch the Matt Wright Crocodile Adventures on Netflix with my kids, and I think I'm up for about 15 grand for a trip to the Tiwi Islands early next year. Well, I thought it was awesome, Serge. I did take some notes for you. Maybe I'll give them to you in the office tomorrow. But you know, we do need to find more tags on the tag board to get the documentary crews to follow you underground to have a look at the green gold that we're mining. Obviously, you get a pay rise for the BGL share tip, mate. Well done. But I think you lost me when you said we were going to visit mess culture on site, mate. You know, I don't think anyone on Netflix wants to watch a bunch of old blokes sitting in the pub talking about their issues at home. But no, look, I think it's really, really good. I guess my view would be, and probably my key punch up for it would be that as you sort of presented it, it seems like, you know, you're looking at one thing, then it stops, one thing, then it stops. You know, these documentary series, what really pulls people in is following people through and the journeys of people and building up, you know, suspense and drama in between the episodes. So adding a bit of that where you can follow stories and, you know, finish on shock, what's going to happen in the next episode is a good thing, and fitting that into the 24-hour repetitive sort of bog bore cycle of mining is something to think about. But no, I think it was a good pitch, mate.
Oh, perfect. Cheers, Darren. No, in all honesty, this pitch was purely just to get the pilot season 1 out. If you're willing to invest, there'll be season 2 and season 3 after that, in which case we'll take your feedback on board.
Okay, so my question to our sharks is then, you know, one, are you in, and how much?
How much money you got, KB?
Not enough for
in a purely hypothetical sense, of course.
No, look, honestly, if I got a camcorder and I went around to every single mine site, I'd do the documentary myself. So I don't need a big film crew. Just need a couple of guys on board with me and we'll make it happen.
That is fantastic. Can I ask everyone, please give it up? That was fantastic. Kate, over to you.
Hello everyone, and thank you, Serge. That's a very hard act to follow. I didn't bring any slides with me tonight, so just got me, and I'm happy to chat seed capital later on. I'd like to get in on the ground floor before it's sold to Netflix. So thank you firstly to the Gold Industry Group for having me this evening. As mentioned, my name's Kate Fitzsimons. I'm a member of the legal team at St Barbara. That's not a reason to not talk to me at drinks afterwards. I do feel the need to start this pitch with a small disclaimer that I am not a member of Gen Z, although someone in my office did think I was, but hopefully I do have some insights on how the industry can capture the hearts and minds of young people. So I've spoken to a few people, both within St Barbara and the gold industry more broadly, and have read some nice think pieces from consulting companies. And some of the research really surprised me. Gen Z's ranked careers in mining among the lowest in terms of overall attractiveness. Now, I'm not sure about you, but overall attractiveness is probably a key factor in making decisions about your career. So this is a pretty dire statistic, and I thought it would be useful to understand some of the factors why young people are thinking twice about a career in mining. I thought I'd start by digging deeper into Gen Z So we're talking people born between 1996, 2012, people who are just starting out in their careers or going through school and university, making decisions about what they want to do in the future. So what do we know about Gen Z and careers? Well, Gen Z has higher expectations for the workplace than ever before. It's not just about collecting a paycheck. Compared to previous generations, Gen Zs, they know what they want and they're going to go after it. And central to what Gen Zs want from the workplace at the moment is purpose. That drive for a sense of purpose has both an intrinsic and extrinsic element. On the personal side, Gen Zs want growth and career development. They want to know that their work is interesting and challenging and provides opportunities for collaboration. Gen Zs want to work in an industry and for a company that really aligns with their core values. A company's authenticity, their action on diversity and inclusion, impacts on the environment, impacts on the community. These are all emerging as key factors for Gen Zs making career decisions. So what does this mean for the gold industry? Well, we've got a bit of a problem. And Gen Zs is projected to make up a quarter of the workforce by 2025. So if we can't start changing minds about the mining industry, then we're in for a real resourcing challenge in the next decade and beyond. What should we do? Well, I certainly don't have all of the answers and don't have a fancy pitch to Netflix. However, I know that most of us in this space today know that there are many things that make the mining industry, and particularly the gold industry, a great place to work, and we need to find a way of getting that through to Gen Z. So what I'd like to pitch to the Sharks tonight is that the gold industry needs a bit of a shake-up of its PR industry. Of course, I know there's hard-working teams of people who are doing that at the moment, marketing the industry. But what I'd like to say is, are we doing the right things to speak to young people? A drink bottle at a careers fair isn't going to change anyone's mind. And I can tell you most Gen Zs aren't reading their AFR. To speak to Gen Zs, we need to meet them where they are. And I know it's a huge generalisation to say that the Gen Zs are on TikTok, but it's not entirely inaccurate. TikTok is the most downloaded app for people aged between 18 and 24, and data from Google itself shows that Gen Zs prefer TikTok as a search engine over Google. As someone who's never used TikTok before, that blows my mind. But I'm not saying that the gold industry needs to get on TikTok and make silly little dances, although that could be quite fun, and maybe some of your documentary crew can get involved. But a rethink of the marketing strategy could be what's needed to capture the hearts and minds of young people. And while social media engagement is increasingly important in this information age, we can't understate the benefits of getting engagement at the grassroots level, getting to schools, getting to universities and speaking to students and starting to challenge some of those misconceptions about the big bad mining industry. So, now that we know who we're talking to and how we're talking to them, what are we talking to them about? We need to start challenging some of the thinking and busting myths about the industry. How can we show Gen Zs that working in the gold industry can give them that sense of purpose that they're looking for? And I think this goes back to the core values piece. And near the top of everyone's values list in 2022 is climate change. And that is especially true for Gen Zs, who will no doubt be more severely affected by climate change than any generation that's come before them. Nearly 3/4 of Gen Zs surveyed in 2021 said that they would turn down a job offer if they thought the company wasn't doing enough to tackle climate change. And that's a pretty scary fact for the mining industry. However, it could have some upside for the gold industry compared to others in the resources sector. We're doing pretty well in terms of emissions when you compare to coal, oil and gas, or the iron ore industry. And secondly, we know that decarbonisation is the future of our industry. And who better to get involved in that initiative than enthusiastic Gen Zs that care desperately about the planet and want to make a change. Another big buzzword for Gen Zs is tech. In some research, 50% of Gen Zs said that using cutting-edge technology was either an important or essential part of their career. Yet most young people equate the mining industry with digging things out of the ground and selling it. It seems that we haven't quite got across to Gen Z the importance of tech to our industry and how things like machine learning and artificial intelligence are really transforming how mining is done. And this is where the marketing strategy comes in. We need to speak to those students who are very interested in tech. You know, these are the digital natives that will be best placed to implement these new technologies. Gold companies should be singing from the rooftops to Gen Zs with an interest in tech. Forget about a career at Facebook or Google. Think about opportunities closer to home, perhaps in the goldfields, or perhaps in the future that'll be based in an office in Perth or in Bali, or who knows, the future is out there. So to wrap up my pitch, it's fairly simple. Let's change the way we market the industry and we can start changing the minds of Gen Zs. I thought I'd leave you tonight with a line given earlier this year by the Chief Executive of the Queensland Resources Council. I think it perfectly sums up a call to action for Gen Zs. He said, "Don't stand on the sideline and throw rocks. Get involved in the mining industry and you can be part of the change."
Sure. Look, awesome pitch, Kate. I admit, a little bit disappointed that you didn't close it with an interpretive dance about the mining industry and climate change, but I'll let you off for that one. Look, I think it's really interesting. I'm wondering if, as a PR thing, I know we're not the target audience, but we're part of the industry. Is there a part of that pitch that you could say would be, you know, a call to action people here could do from this event, or, you know, for the next few months to try and help that cause?
Yeah, I think it's about building excitement about the industry. Kind of goes back to what Serge was saying before. We really need to sort of build a brand around the industry. And, you know, your future employees aren't shareholders, so don't treat them like such. They're not as interested in the bottom line as previous generations before them. So let's start targeting the marketing to what they are interested in. It's sort of green energy, it's tech, it's those sorts of things.
Cool. And everyone here should join TikTok and learn how to dance.
Yeah, I won't be doing an interpretive dance.
I guess the main thing would just be making sure that it's super authentic. You know, I think, you know, like Andrea said before, you know, you've got to make sure that it's doesn't come across as a cheesy marketing type of thing, even though it absolutely is marketing. So yeah, how would you sort of, I guess, you know, you've ruled out dancers, but you know, how do you make that message sort of authentic?
Yeah, and as a disclaimer, never been on TikTok, but I've seen how it works, and I think it's that sort of delivering messages directly and personally, and getting personal stories and getting, you know, people on site and starting to build some of the hype around the industry.
I really liked the sort of breaking out of who to talk to, how to talk to them, and then what we wanted to talk to them about. I thought that was fabulous. I was wondering whether Gen Z within mining should be driving the social media to Gen Z, so that you get the following of the colourful people within Gen Z showing the wonderful things that we're doing, whether that is the Z factor for this particular pitch. What do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree. It's sort of peer-to-peer, letting people know about the industry, letting people know about the opportunities, because I think that's the thing. There's so many opportunities in the industry. A lot of people just don't know about them.
And instead of dancers, I think humour would work really well. Yeah.
Perfectly.
Great.
Thank you very much. My only comment is that I don't know how many people in the audience remember the Harlem Shake, but I have to say those two words strike fear into my heart, and having seen the power of that particular little dance craze to elevate the status of the sector overnight, I'm very keen not to revisit it, but don't doubt for 1 minute the power of TikTok, and I think your messaging about actually meeting Gen Z where they want to be, and instead of expecting them to sort of come to us is a really excellent one. So thank you very much, Kate. That was awesome. Carl has props.
Good evening, everyone. Great to be here tonight. Good evening, Sharks. So, very exciting evening. I thought to try and get in the good books of the Sharks, I'd bring along some gifts. And given it's the end of the night, end of the week, it's coming towards the end of the year, I thought why not start as we, transition from the dark grey suits, the jumpers, transitioning to thinking about summer, transitioning to thinking about holidays and the beach. No, I'm not thinking about bikinis and budgie smugglers, but Hawaiian shirts.
Thank you.
So, all the same size, so please don your Hawaiian shirt. This will help butter them up, I'm sure.
Feeling more summery already.
See, doesn't that feel much better? Now, when they asked me to participate in this, I thought, middle-aged white guy talking about diversity. Does that make sense? But I thought, this is a really important topic to me. And I thought long and hard about it. And I realised that middle-aged white guy is not going to come up with the answers. So I did what any good manager would do. I delegated. And we found some appropriately qualified people to comment. Channeling Kate's thinking there, we constructed a bit of a social media type of video. Can we play that?
Well, first and foremost is the safety. Good camp/facilities are really important.
Culture.
The food as well.
Career training.
A good company culture.
Diversity of roles and of the people.
Definitely a high salary.
Plan to achieve our goals like net carbon zero and
building on my current skills.
A company that values innovation.
Leader focus on safety.
Longevity within my career. The opportunities for external study supported by the company.
Growth opportunities.
Carers leave, mental health leave, personal and parental leave option.
A flexible work roster.
Flexibility with the working arrangements.
Renewable energy opportunities on site.
Their commitment to developing my skills.
Personal development.
Opportunity to travel.
The work roster, because I like to travel quite often.
Is how approachable are the senior engineers and senior people in the company.
Employee benefit scheme.
And of course, a good salary.
So, listening to the younger generation reflected to me that there is no silver bullet, there is no panacea to this. As we increase the diversity of our workforce, as we look to increase the backgrounds, the experiences, the gender, the race, the skill sets, we actually need to focus on increasing the diversity of the solutions we provide them or what we offer to these people. They're not turning up for a P50 salary with 10% super anymore. They want something different. They want something unique to them. They want something customised. And so as we think about how to attract this generation, how to draw them into our great industry, what it's become clear to me is they want something tailored because despite the wonderful shirts, one size does not fit all. Thank you.
So how do you pitch that from the get-go? Like when you advertise a job, is it sort of everything negotiable, or how does that, or do you sort of get them in and then keeping them there is how, like?
Yeah, Christy, I think that's flexible arrangement, flexible negotiation. I could see, there's different categories score differently, rosters, pay, experiences, development.
Thanks for the shirt. I was freezing and it's actually making me warmer, so thank you. I'm joining your organisation. I've stepped in the door. How do you make me feel welcome and that I'm unique in this sort of journey that you're talking about. What's my experience going to be, and how do you know that your organisation's going to be able to sort of respond to my individual needs that you're saying you're going to give me?
Well, I'd start with the Hawaiian shirt, clearly. But you know, that's an opportunity to engage each person as an individual, talk about what their needs and wants are, and we can set managers up with a budget as to how they work with that, whether it be hours or points or whatever it may look like.
So it's really good thought process about how to allow people to accept, you know, different rosters, different work hours. There's obviously some practical issues with, you know, flights, access to site, all of that type of thing, as I'm sure you know. But how do you see yourself pitching that up the tree? Like pitching up that, you know, we're going to have, you know, stop-start in lots of different careers that we're doing, and that not, you know, affecting the bottom line in terms of production, safety, that with the, you know, the varied rosters that you're getting and that lack of consistency.
Darren, I think pretty clear, more engaged workforce, more engaged wanting to be there is always going to play out for your safety. More engaged workforce, you know, have you ever seen a more engaged workforce give a worse production outcome?
That's a good point. I feel like I need to stand up for you as a fellow middle-aged white guy up here. So great pitch, mate.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Carl. Thank you very much to our panel. I have to say, I love the idea of something that responds to people's needs and desires over time, and really attracted by that sort of flexible solution. See that seamless transfer from microphone to microphone there. I just want to extend my personal thanks to our panel, our sharks. Thank you so much. It has been thought-provoking, funny, insightful. You guys are fantastic. This event does not happen without people being prepared to give their time and energy to put this together. So can you please put your hands together for all of our panel this evening? Now, we've had some incredible insights from tonight's speakers, and now it is over to you. As I said, our empowered audience. There's no such thing as a, you know, free dinner and drinks, so now you are put to work. And your job now is to head to www.menti.com. The details are up there, so I don't need to remind them. You are all capable people. You can all read, and that is delightful. So log on, make your vote. We have a fabulous prize for your favourite pitch of the night. But in the meanwhile, enjoy being together, have some drinks, get to catch up with people you haven't seen for a while, and thank you very much. And we will reconvene shortly to announce our winner, but thank you.
Yeah, look, what we heard tonight was some amazing pitches from, you know, a really diverse group of people that are actively involved in the gold mining industry, and you know, it is such an important topic to, you know, try and attract the next generation of talent to come into mining, and we heard some amazing ideas about how to do it.
It's an amazing atmosphere. Pitching is something that you love. It's as easy as it gets. I love nothing more than working in this gold industry. It's what I do. It's what I live and breathe. It's the reason I get up at 3 a.m. come back home at 5. You wouldn't be able to do this unless you loved it.
If I could just grab your attention for just one moment, I'd like to announce our winner this evening. Before I do that, we're very proud to partner with local Indigenous studio Jalauga Designs, who have created an absolutely beautiful artwork for this evening's prize. Highly experienced creative artist Jalauga Murray, who works with shooting stars designing their netball dresses, and has also produced with shooting stars an absolutely beautiful book, which I'd encourage you to check out through Shooting Stars. Fantastic Christmas gift. Do take a look at that. But Jalauga has designed this phenomenal artwork, which will be this evening's prize for our winning speaker. Are we able to put up the numbers? I think we would say that's an overwhelming victory. please come forward, Sergio, and collect your prize. Ah, there he is. Thank you very much, everyone, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thanks again for coming.